After a lot of rumors surrounding the New England Patriots, Bill Belichick elects to not make a single trade during the 2023 NFL Trade Deadline, and it caught me by surprise, and it caught a lot of other people by surprise around NFL circles. I am Nic Rohloff. This is Patriots Today, and we're kind of looking at what a post-Patriots trade deadline rumor mill looks like because they elected not to trade Josh Uche, Kyle Dugger, Mike Onwenu, Mac Jones. I don't even think that was ever going to really happen. But then there was also reported interest on Zeke Elliott from other teams, but they did not move on from the veteran running back. And Albert Breer actually had some clarity on New England's situation right as the deadline was about to hit. The Patriots listened, but are hanging on to young contract year guys like edge Josh Uche, safety Kyle Dugger, and offensive lineman Mike Onwenu, Also, he was told they never actually got any calls on Mac Jones or Zeke Elliott. Jeff Howe of The Athletic reported that they did have some interest on the running back, former Dallas Cowboy. Evidently, who knows what actually happened, but Zeke is going to stay in Foxborough for the remainder of the 2023 season. But the question you should be asking yourself, and what I asked myself as the deadline came and went, what does this mean for New England the rest of the season and going into the offseason? Because those three young guys I mentioned are all extension eligible. They did not get extended before the season. And if they're not getting dealt, well, then what is the plan for New England? Because you could only franchise tag one of them. So are you letting two of them walk? Are you franchise tagging one, extending one, letting one walk? I'll try to break it down in today's video and see what the value is on Josh Uche, Onwenu, and Kyle Dugger. But first, today's pinned comment, I want to know what you guys have to say. Are you disappointed the Patriots did not sell at the trade deadline? 2-6 record, a lost year in Foxborough, if you will. Type happy for happy, or type H for happy, if you're happy they didn't sell. Type S for sad. I'm honestly a little sad. I think they should have cashed in and got some draft assets back for at least one of those young guys at the trade deadline. Because the reason is that you have to pay some of these guys. And I'm honestly sick and tired of the Patriots method, the Patriots way, if you will, of getting homegrown talent, either late in drafts, middle of the drafts, and then when they're up for a contract extension, you don't pay them and you let them walk and you kind of just bring new guys in. Now, it has worked in the past, a la J.C. Jackson, who came back to New England. Jamie Collins comes to mind. Trey Flowers, the edge, also comes to mind. That some of these defensive players leave Bill Belichick's system and don't earn the money they got in free agency by other teams. But when you look at some of these guys we're mentioning, I think they are really talented and need to be extended, specifically Josh Uche. And it's fascinating to see what he will get on the open market or if the Patriots franchise tag him. He is definitely going to be someone we keep our eyes on here at Patriots Today because he's been one heck of a ball player for the Patriots in his career. Obviously, a second-round pick in that 2020 NFL draft. And he got off to a slow start in Foxborough. He didn't play that well. He also was very limited with multiple injuries to his foot, to his back, I believe, as well. But in 2022, last season, he exploded onto the scene. Opposite of Matthew Judon, he had a career year. And a career year for a lot of guys inside the National Football League. 11.5 sacks, 9 TFLs, 2 forced fumbles, and he played in a career-high 15 games as well. Uche looked like a dominant pass rusher last year who displayed explosiveness, some bend on the perimeter. And him and Judon were one of the best, if not the best, edge duo in the NFL, totaling for double-digit sacks apiece. And when I think of Josh Uche, it's interesting to see what he could get on the open market. But I talked with Harrison, and we kind of came up with $15 million a year for Uche, and so I'm thinking a 3-year, $45 million extension if he is extended by New England. And the reason why I'm leaning towards that is because he is not going to be franchise tag. I can almost guarantee you that. And you might ask yourself, well, Nick, why wouldn't Josh Uche get extended? Well, the franchise tag number for edges looking to be projected at around $20.4 million. And I like Josh Uche, but he's not a $20 million edge rusher just yet. So I think it would benefit him and New England to get down to an extension around $15 million. And if he's able to stay healthy and work with Matt Judon on that perimeter for the rest of the 3 years he's under contract potentially, it would form a dynamic pass rush for New England, which you desperately need when going against guys like Josh Allen, Tua Tagovailoa, and potentially Aaron Rodgers next year. I'd like to keep Uche. I don't think he gets franchise tagged. So out of all these guys we're mentioning, I think he's the most likely to get that extension or just be let to go walk. And I'll tell you right now, if there is a Patriots extension at any point in time, whether it be next week during the season or in the offseason, we will make a video and have you covered. So join the channel, hit that sub button, subscribe today to Patriots Today. A little rhyme for you as well. Before we get to Kyle Dugger, I do got to give some love to our sponsor on today's show, and that is PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the best daily fantasy sports platform in North America. It is available to play in 31 states. You don't have to battle pros and sharks. You just pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. You see it on screen. I got a 2-pick power play for this upcoming games these weekend. I'm taking more than Mac Jones 3.5 rushing yards. Playing the Commanders, who just sold off Chase Young and Montez Sweat. He's going to have to scramble. I bet he gets a 5-yard scramble. I guarantee you that. And then Monday night, more than Garrett Wilson, 62.5 receiving yards. That Chargers secondary stinks. Expect Garrett Wilson to take advantage of that. But another positive of PrizePicks as well is you don't have to just go to the NFL. You can mix and match between the NBA, NHL, and NFL. It is my favorite daily fantasy sports platform on the market. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for that first deposit match up to $100. One more time for the people in the back. prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use code CLNS for that first deposit match up to $100. Next, what is Kyle Dugger's value? Because if you just watch this Patriots team, which doesn't have the most talent in the world, it is very obvious that Kyle Dugger is a top 5 player on this team because, well, the offense doesn't have a lot of them. Trent Brown is in that list, but Kyle Dugger is a top 5 player on this Patriots roster, and you have to extend him because he has been nothing short of spectacular for New England ever since he's put on the red, blue, white, and silver pants. I love those pants, by the way. He has been unbelievable. But the question is, what is Kyle Dugger worth paying? And when you look at some of the highest paid safeties in the league, I think he could absolutely earn what some of these guys are making. When you think of guys like Eddie Jackson, he's kind of cooked. Kyle Dugger's better than him. Bayard just got shipped off to Philadelphia from the Tennessee Titans. Jesse Bates got that massive contract with Atlanta. But Harrison Smith is kind of cooked. Jamal Adams stinks. And so when you look at those 3 guys that I just named, Kyle Dugger, in my opinion, is no doubt better than him. Even a guy like Justin Simmons, who is a very good player, but he's getting up there in age. I think Dugger is better than 3 or 4 of these guys on this list. So is it fair to say he can also get a $15 million contract just like Josh Uche? I think that is perfectly fine to say because look at what Dugger's done ever since entering the NFL as a second-round pick. He has constantly been someone reliable for New England, playing 14 games a season. He has not missed a game this year for the Patriots. And 2 years ago in his second season, he was phenomenal. And then he only backed it up with another great season last year with 3 INTs, 8 pass breakups, 78 tackles. He's not afraid to stop the run, get into the box coming from that secondary position, but he's also someone that is versatile enough to stay with slot receivers, guard tight ends man-to-man. Kyle Dugger can do it all. He's great at stopping the run, and you have a really good pass defender as well in that safety spot. In the Patriots roster, you can talk about their lack of talent offensively, but what they don't lack is talent in that safety position. We were all concerned about what would happen to that safety position once Devin McCourty retired. Well, he did retire, and now the Patriots safety group is arguably the best on the team. When you think of Jabril Peppers, Adrian Phillips, and Kyle Dugger, that is a fantastic three-man rotation that the Patriots enroll at safety. You have something special. Let's not waste it. Pair up Jabril Peppers and Kyle Dugger one more season at bare minimum and let them cook, whether it be a franchise tag or whether it be extension. I think out of all of the players up for an extension this offseason or prior to this season, I think Dugger should have been the number one priority. So Bill Belichick, I am begging you, please extend Kyle Dugger. And that brings me to wanting to know what you have to say. You heard my pitch on why I think Kyle Dugger needs to be extended. But I'll ask you, should Bill Belichick and the Patriots extend the safety out of Lenore Ryan? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Let me know in the comments section. Lastly, what to do with Mike Onwenu. Obviously, he was a late draft pick by New England. He's been up and down for the Patriots, but he had a really good start to his career. He was fantastic as a rookie playing right and left tackle. And then in his second year, he played mostly right tackle, and he was really good again. But then, for some odd reason, New England the past year and a half tried to play him inside at guard. And I disagreed with that decision. And you watched Onwenu's PFF grades and his hurries allowed, sacks allowed. They all took a tick up. But then they put him back at right tackle a couple weeks ago before the Bills game, and the offensive line had their best game of the season. Onwenu is an interesting guy because he had good moments for this Patriots team, and he's a floater. He is versatile. He is best well served at that right tackle position, in my opinion. But it is intriguing to see what New England will do with Onwenu. And out of the three guys I mentioned, Dugger, Uche, and Onwenu, I think the most likely to let or be pushed out the door, not extended or franchise tag, I think it is Onwenu. I'd like to bring him back, but hey, there's more than a 50% chance that one of these three guys is not a Patriot next season. I am hoping Uche and Dugger are still on New England's team next year, so that kind of makes me think Onwenu might be the odd man out, but we will have to see. To actually close out today's show, though, is a run coming for the Patriots. At 2-6, doesn't really look like they have a chance to make the playoffs, but after not selling any pieces at the trade deadline, does the people inside Gillette Stadium, inside that building, believe a run is coming? Well, they currently have a 2-6 record, like I mentioned. They have the 5th pick in the NFL draft if it was tomorrow, but they have 3 winnable games coming up on the schedule. They play the Commanders this week, then they play the Colts in Germany. Then I believe they have their bye and then come back and play the New York Giants. Those are 3 very winnable games where it wouldn't surprise me if they won all 3. It wouldn't surprise me if they lost all 3. But if they won, they'd now have a record of 5-6, and you're sitting here like, well, 5-6, a weak bottom half of the Eastern Conference, again NBA, AFC. Well, maybe you have a chance to grab that last wild card spot. So the season, it might not be over. It will be over for sure if the Commanders defeat New England in Foxborough this upcoming Sunday, but a win here might give the fans some hope. So that is why you subscribe, because we are going to break down that game on Sunday. We're going to break down every Patriots rumor, every piece of news, the whole 9 yards. So join the channel at Patriots Today. Either myself, Nic Rohloff, or Harrison Graham will break it down for you. So hit that sub button, and I'll see you tomorrow for another video.